Pack your things. We're moving into my mom's one-bedroom apartment. My sister and her family will be living in your three-bedroom, and you'll be sleeping in the storage closet at mom's," my husband announced. After these words, the doorbell rang, and when my husband opened it, he was stunned by what he saw. But before I begin, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and enjoy. Alina woke up because 3-year-old Artem had kicked her in his sleep. Her son was sleeping between her and Dennis, sprawled out like a starfish. Her husband lay at the very edge of the bed, turned toward the wall. Between them was 30 centimeters of sheet and 6 years of marriage that now felt like someone else's life. 5 in the morning. Darkness outside the window. Only scattered streetlights flickered through the April fog. Alina carefully climbed out of bed, threw on her robe, and went to the kitchen. She turned on the kettle and pressed her forehead against the cold glass of the window. Below, an empty street, parked cars, a stray cat. An ordinary morning. Except inside her, there was no longer any peace. For the past 2 months, she had felt something was brewing, something bad. Dennis had become different, distant, closed off, absent even when he was nearby. He came home from work late, barely spoke to the children. He answered her questions in monosyllables. On weekends, he went to his mother's and came back even gloomier. And then the visits began. Tamara, his mother, started coming almost every week. She brought with her Olesya, her younger daughter, and Olesya's husband Igor with their 2 children. They sat in the kitchen, drank tea, talked in hushed voices. Alina heard fragments. Rental is expensive, lots of space, help temporarily. When she entered, everyone fell silent. Tamara smiled tensely. "Alina, dear, we're discussing family matters here. Don't let us distract you." Dennis looked away. Olesya looked at her, appraisingly, studiously. And they walked through the apartment, looked into rooms, touched furniture, discussed the layout. Olesya once said, showing her children the bedroom, "Look what a big room. You'd love one like this." Alina said nothing then, but something inside clenched. The 3-bedroom apartment was hers, a gift from her grandmother a year before the wedding. The only thing she truly had that was her own. Her grandmother, who had raised her after her parents died, left Alina this home and died peacefully, knowing her granddaughter was protected. "Now you have a home," her grandmother said before she died. "Don't give it to anyone. This is your fortress." Alina remembered those words now, standing by the window at dawn, and understood. Her grandmother had been right. Dennis had moved in here after the wedding with a gym bag, a box of books, and a laptop. All his possessions. Back then, Alina thought it was romantic. We're starting with a clean slate, building a life together. She believed she was marrying for love. "My wife with real estate," he joked to friends. "I got lucky." Alina laughed then. Now that joke echoed with pain. The kettle boiled. She made strong tea, sat at the table. She needed to understand what was happening. She needed to figure it out. She opened the notes on her phone. 2 weeks ago, she had started recording everything strange that was happening in the house. The lawyer she had secretly gone to for a consultation advised, "Write everything down, dates, words, actions. If you need to defend yourself, these notes will help." Alina had been scared of that word then, defend. But she went to the lawyer because she felt something was coming, something she would need to defend herself against. She reread her notes. March 18th. Dennis said it was hard for Olesya and Igor financially. Hinted that we have lots of space and they're struggling in a rental. March 22nd. Tamara came with Olesya. They walked through the rooms, discussed how to use the space rationally. Olesya said, "You don't need this much square footage." Dennis said nothing. March 27th. Mother-in-law asked if I'd ever thought about renting out an extra room. "It's just sitting empty anyway, and you'd be helping people." Dennis nodded in agreement. April 1st. Olesya brought the kids, showed them the room, saying, "This is where your bed will go, and here's Sergei's desk." I asked what she meant. She laughed, just dreaming out loud. Dennis took me to the kitchen, asked me not to spoil his sister's mood. April 5th. Overheard a conversation in the kitchen. Tamara, Dennis, and Olesya were talking quietly. Heard. She'll agree temporarily under contract. When I entered, everyone went silent. Alina closed the notes. The picture was coming together. They were planning something with her apartment, without her, behind her back, and Dennis wasn't on it. More than that, he was participating. She stood, walked to the window. Dawn was breaking. The sky was turning from black to gray. The first pedestrians appeared on the street. An ordinary morning of an ordinary day. But in her life something was breaking, cracking, falling apart. When did it start? When exactly did she realize the marriage was dead? Probably a year ago, when Artem was born, unplanned but wanted. Dennis met the news of the pregnancy indifferently. Well, we'll manage. Alina managed. Alone. Pregnancy, childbirth, sleepless nights, feeding. Dennis came home from work, kissed the kids perfunctorily, sat in front of the TV. "I'm tired," he said to any request for help. "I worked all day." Alina also worked, remotely freelance as a designer. She juggled orders with caring for an infant and 5-year-old Lisa. Cooked, cleaned, did laundry. Dennis didn't notice or pretended not to notice. And then he started going to his mother's more often. "Mom's not well. Mom needs help." "I'm her son. I have to." Alina didn't object. Let him help. That's right. Except Tamara was 60 years old. She worked as an accountant at a large company, was energetic and healthy. She didn't need help. She needed Dennis nearby, under control. Alina remembered how they met. Her company's holiday party. Dennis stopped by to see a colleague, saw her, approached, struck up a conversation. Charming, smiling, attentive. He walked her home, got her address. "Downtown, 3-bedroom," he said. "Are you renting?" "No, it's mine." His eyes flashed. A second, but Alina remembered. She thought then that he liked that she was independent. Now she understood he liked the square footage. A month later he proposed. "Alina, I want to be with you. Let's get married." Romantic, beautiful. She agreed, happy. Tamara said then, "At least you have an apartment, Alina dear. Otherwise my Dennis would have sat on my neck his whole life." Alina took it as a compliment. Now she saw it was the unvarnished truth. The wedding was modest. They registered at City Hall, celebrated at a cafe. Dennis moved in with her. The first year was good. They worked, made plans, were happy. Then Lisa was born. Dennis was pleased, a daughter, great, but he didn't help. "You're the mother. Nature designed you for this," he said when Alina asked him to relieve her for at least an hour. She managed because she thought it was temporary. Things would settle down, get better. But they didn't get better. They got worse. Dennis became more distant, came home late, was silent, stayed on his phone. There was no sex for 3 months, no conversations either. They lived like roommates, politely, distantly. Alina tried to talk. "Dennis, what's happening with us?" He brushed her off. "Everything's fine, don't make things up." But everything wasn't fine. And then 2 months ago, these strange visits began. Mother-in-law, Olesya, Igor. They came, looked, evaluated, and Dennis was silent, agreed, nodded. Alina felt a trap being prepared, but what kind? 3 weeks ago, she couldn't take it anymore and made an appointment with a family law attorney. Found one online. Came alone. Told her husband she was going to a friend's. The lawyer was a woman around 50, strict, attentive. She listened to Alina, asked questions, then said, "The apartment is yours, premarital property, a gift. He has no rights to it, even after 10 years of marriage. If you file for divorce, the apartment stays with you, the children too. You'll get child support from him. And if he demands, says he invested in renovations, bought furniture, let him demand, let him prove it. The court will review it. But investments in joint property don't give rights to an apartment acquired before marriage. The law is on your side. What if he says I'm a bad mother, that the children are worse off with me?" The lawyer smirked. You work, you provide for the children, you have housing. Is he better? Let him prove it. Let him try. But usually these are empty threats. Alina left the lawyer with relief and simultaneously with a weight. So divorce was possible. So she could defend herself. But that meant it was all true. The marriage was dead. She had still hoped she was wrong. That Dennis loved her was just tired. Just a crisis. But after talking with the lawyer, she understood. She needed to be prepared for any turn of events. The lawyer advised, gather documents, children's birth certificates, apartment documents, income statements. Document his belongings, inventory, photos, in case there's a conflict. And write down everything strange that happens. Dates, facts, words. Alina did just that, quietly unnoticed. She prepared, copied documents, photographed Dennis's things in the apartment, clothes, electronics, books, made an inventory, hid copies of documents in a safe. Dennis noticed nothing. He rarely paid attention to her anyway. He lived his own life, in which Alina was background. A week ago, Alina quietly started packing some of his things. Not everything, just some. So it wouldn't be immediately noticeable. She put them in boxes, stored them in the closet, preparing. For what? She didn't understand herself, but instinct told her, you need to. In 6 years of marriage, Dennis had brought surprisingly few things into this apartment. 3 suits, shirts, jeans, sneakers, laptop, phone, books. As if he hadn't really lived here, but was just staying temporarily. Alina looked at these boxes and thought, this is it, his presence in my life. 10 boxes, 6 years of marriage, 2 children and no connection. Yesterday evening Dennis came home late, ate dinner in silence, went to bed without saying a word. Alina lay next to him and thought, how much longer will this continue? When will he say what he's planning? The phone vibrated. Alina, startled, returned to reality. A message from Tamara. Alina, I need to talk to you seriously. I'm coming this afternoon. Dennis knows. Be home. So it was starting. Alina slowly exhaled, looked at the clock. 6 a.m. The children were still sleeping. Dennis too. She had time to prepare. She texted her friend Vicky. Vic, can you pick up the kids this afternoon? For 3 or 4 hours. Really need it. The response came almost immediately. Of course. Did something happen? We'll talk later. Thanks. Alina finished her cold tea, stood, walked through the apartment. Living room, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom. 775 square feet. Her home, her fortress. She stopped by the window in the living room. Outside the glass, day was breaking, the sky was getting lighter. People were appearing on the street. Life went on, ordinary, familiar. And inside her, a cold clarity, almost calm. Whatever happened today, she was ready. Documents gathered, Dennis's things packed. Lawyer warned. She wouldn't let anyone take her life away. In the bedroom, Artem stirred, whimpered. Alina went to him, picked him up, held him close. Warm, sleepy, beloved. Mama, he mumbled, water. She gave him water, laid him back down. He fell asleep immediately. Lisa slept in her room, sprawled on the bed. 5 years old, serious eyes, smart girl. Alina looked at the children and thought, for them, she would do everything, protect them from any storms that were approaching. Dennis came out of the bedroom at 7:30, yawned, walked past her to the kitchen, turned on the coffee maker. Good morning, Alina said. That was the whole conversation. He poured coffee, drank it standing, got dressed. At the threshold, he turned around. Mom's coming today. Be home. I know. He nodded, left. The door closed. Alina stood in the kitchen. Everything inside clenched. So definitely, today something would happen, something important. She fed the children breakfast, washed and dressed them. At 1:30, Vicky came, picked up Lisa and Artem. Everything okay? She asked quietly at the door. It will be soon, Alina answered. She was alone in the apartment. She walked through the rooms, everything clean, everything in place. She sat on the couch in the living room and waited. Tamara rang the intercom at exactly 2 o'clock. Alina opened, let her in. Her mother-in-law came up, entered the apartment. Black coat, heavy bag, sharp smell of perfume. Face stern, lips pursed. "Hello, Alina dear." "Hello." Tamara walked into the living room, sat on the couch without taking off her coat. Alina sat across from her in an armchair. "Where are the children?" "With a friend." "Good. We need to talk seriously." Her mother-in-law paused, then took a folder from her bag, laid it on the table between them. "Alina, I'll speak directly. Olesya and Igor are in a difficult situation. They're renting a 2-bedroom for $3,000 a month. Almost half of Igor's salary goes to rent. 2 kids, huge expenses. They can barely make ends meet." Alina was silent, looking at her mother-in-law calmly. "And you," Tamara continued, "live in a 3-bedroom apartment, the 4 of you. Basically, you only use 1 bedroom and a living room. The rest of the space sits empty. That's not rational." "It's my apartment," Alina said quietly. "I use it as I see fit." Her mother-in-law pursed her lips. "Yes, formally the apartment is yours, but you're part of the family. Dennis is my son, Olesya is his sister. Family should help each other. Isn't that right?" "Help, yes. But how exactly?" Tamara opened the folder, pulled out some papers. "I've thought everything through. There's a plan that will help everyone. Both Olesya's family and you and Dennis. Everything fair, official, legal." Alina felt everything inside clench. Here it was. Now it would begin. "What plan?" Her mother-in-law leaned forward, spoke enthusiastically, quickly. "You rent this apartment to Olesya officially under a lease agreement for a symbolic fee. Say, $2,000 a month. That will help them. They'll stop overpaying. And you'll have income, small but stable. And where will we live?" Alina asked quietly. Tamara smiled, pleased, confident. "With me. I'll clear out a room, put in your bed and the kids' beds. The 4 of you will fit. Of course, it'll be cramped, but it's temporary. Plus, I'll help you with the kids. I'll be nearby. It's hard for you alone, right? I'll take some of the burden off you. And the money from rent will go into the family budget. $2,000. A nice addition." Alina was silent, looked at her mother-in-law, and felt herself go cold inside. So this was it. This was what they had planned. Evict her from her own apartment. Stuff her into her mother-in-law's 1-bedroom with 2 kids. Give her 3-bedroom to Olesya for $2,000 a month, which her mother-in-law considered a nice addition. "No," Alina said quietly but firmly. "No." Tamara flinched. "What?" "No. No, I won't rent the apartment. No, I'm not moving in with you. No." Her mother-in-law's face contorted. "You understand that Olesya has nowhere to go, that they have children, that they need help?" "I have children too, and my help to them is a stable home. Their own rooms, their familiar life. I'm sorry, but no." Tamara stood up. Her bag fell to the floor. "You're selfish, cold-hearted, soulless. Dennis married you, moved into your apartment, thought you were a normal person, but you—" "But I what?" Alina also stood, her voice still quiet but cold. "I'm supposed to give up my home, move in with you, live in cramped quarters, endure control, listen to reproaches. For what? Because you're family, because you should help. Help, yes, but not at the cost of my own life." Her mother-in-law grabbed her bag, shoved the folder into it. Her hands shook with anger. "You'll regret this. Dennis will talk to you tonight. He's a man, he's head of the family. He'll explain everything to you how it should be." She turned around, headed for the exit. At the door, she turned back. "And don't think you'll wriggle out of this. We've already decided everything with Dennis and Olesya. Either you agree voluntarily, or it'll be different. Remember my words." The door slammed. Alina stood in the middle of the living room. Inside her a storm raged, anger, hurt, fear, but also something else, cold determination. She went to the kitchen, poured water, drank it in one gulp. Her hands were shaking. She needed to calm down, needed to think. Her mother-in-law said, "We've already decided everything." So Dennis was in on it. More than that, he was participating. And tonight he would come and tell her that they were moving, that they were giving the apartment to Alessia. Alina took out her phone, called the lawyer. "Hello, this is Alina. We consulted 3 weeks ago. The situation has escalated. My mother-in-law is demanding I rent the apartment to my husband's sister and move in with her. My husband knows. What should I do?" The lawyer answered clearly. "Don't sign anything, no lease agreements, no consents. The apartment is yours. You have every right to refuse. If they pressure you, file for divorce. I can prepare the documents today if needed. And if he says I'm obligated, that as his wife I must obey." This isn't the 19th century. You're not obligated. The law is on your side. Stand firm. And if you decide on divorce, call me. We'll act quickly. Alina thanked her, hung up. Then she sat on the couch and wondered, should she wait for evening? Should she listen to what Dennis would say? Or should she act first? She opened a moving company app, looked at prices and conditions. She could call a crew for tomorrow, or even today. But no, too soon. First she needed to hear Dennis, understand how far they had gone, and then decide. She picked up the kids in the evening. Vicky asked, "Everything okay?" Alina answered, "Not yet, but it will be." The children came home noisy, happy. She fed them dinner, washed them, put them to bed. Lisa asked, "Mom, you look sad." Alina smiled, "Just tired, sweetheart." She sat in the kitchen and waited. Dennis came home at 9:30, went to the bedroom, changed, came out to the kitchen. Face tense, lips compressed. Mom called. Said you refused. Yes. Why? Alina looked at him. Because it's my apartment. Because I don't want to move in with your mother. Because I'm not obligated to give my home to your sister. He clenched his fists, ran his hand over his face. Alina, you understand Alessia really is struggling. They have kids, expensive rent. We could help. At my expense. Our expense. We're family. Dennis. She leaned forward, looking him in the eyes. Tell me honestly, do you love me? He froze, blinked, looked away. What a strange question. Answer. Silence. Long, sticky. He looked to the side, at the table, out the window. Anywhere but at her. Of course I love you. We're married. That's not an answer. Alina, what does this have to do with anything? We're talking about something else. About how we can help relatives. Exactly. About something else. Not about me, not about our children. About your sister, your mother. About how they need my home. He jumped up, the chair scraped. You think only about yourself. 3 bedrooms, 4 of you living there, and you can't help people. Your sister is not my responsibility. She's family. No, family is me and my children, and you. Alina hesitated, then finished. And you, it seems, chose a different family a long time ago. He paled, opened his mouth, closed it, then turned around and went to the bedroom, slamming the door. Alina stayed in the kitchen. Her heart pounded so hard her temples throbbed. Her hands shook. She took out her phone, looked at the screen. She could call the lawyer right now, say she was ready to file for divorce. She could call movers, order his things removed. But something stopped her. A last hope, fear, or simply the desire to hear what exactly they had planned all the way to the end. She texted Vicky, "Can you pick up the kids tomorrow morning for the whole day? Please." The response came quickly. Of course. What's happening? I'll tell you tomorrow. Thanks. Alina put away her phone, sat at the table. Tomorrow something would happen. She felt it in her gut. Dennis said his mother would explain everything. So they had prepared some plan, some final version. and only after she heard it would she make her final, irrevocable decision. She lay in bed next to the peacefully snoring Artem. Dennis was already asleep, turned toward the wall, a chasm between them. Alina closed her eyes. Inside was emptiness, cold, but she was ready. Tomorrow everything would change. Tomorrow she would learn the truth and then decide what to do next. She just didn't know that tomorrow Dennis would say those words that would tear everything inside her apart, and that after those words the doorbell would ring, and he would open it and be stunned by what he saw. But she didn't know that yet. For now, she just lay in the darkness and prepared for the battle for her life. Alina woke up to Dennis, getting ready for work. He walked around the bedroom, took things from the closet, dressed, did everything deliberately loudly, as if he wanted to wake her. She didn't let on that she was awake, lay with closed eyes, listening. He stopped by the bed, stood there, then quietly left the room. When the front door closed, Alina opened her eyes, looked at the clock. 7 in the morning. Artem snored next to her. Lisa slept in her room. Last night, after the conversation with Dennis and her mother-in-law, she had made a final, irrevocable decision. She opened her phone, went to the state services website, began filling out an application for divorce. Slowly, carefully reading every line. Reason for dissolution of marriage. Irreconcilable differences. Children's residence with mother. Child support required. Property disputes. None. She checked everything again. Hit send. The application went into processing. Then she opened a moving company website, chose a company, placed an order for today at 4 p.m. Paid. Indicated address and floor. Removal of personal items. 10 boxes. Done. Decision made. No going back. Today everything would be resolved. She got up, washed, dressed, fed the children breakfast. Lisa looked at her attentively. "Mom, your face looks stern." Alina smiled. "Just didn't sleep well, sweetheart." At 9 o'clock, Vicky called. "I'll be there in an hour." "Perfect. Thank you." Alina packed things for the kids' toys. At 10, Vicky picked them up. At the door, she asked quietly, "Alina, are you sure everything's okay? You look tense." Alina hugged her. "Today everything will end. And well, I promise to tell you everything later." Vicky nodded, took the children away. Alina closed the door, leaned against it. Silence. Empty apartment. Just her in waiting. She walked through the rooms, checked the storage closet. Dennis's things in boxes were in place. 10 boxes neatly packed. Clothes, shoes, electronics, documents. Everything ready. Then she took out her phone, checked the mover's order. For PM confirmed, paid. 6 hours left. Alina sat on the living room couch, picked up a book. She couldn't read. Letters blurred. Thoughts raced. What would happen? How would he react? What would he say? At 10:30 the phone rang. Unfamiliar number. Alina answered. "Yes." "Alina, this is Attorney Irina. Your divorce application has been accepted by the court. A preliminary hearing is scheduled. You'll receive a summons in 3 weeks." "Thank you. If there are threats or pressure, call immediately. We can file for a restraining order. Don't tolerate it." "Okay." Alina hung up. So the process had officially, legally begun. No going back. Time dragged slowly. She tried to eat, couldn't. Tried to read, couldn't. Just sat and waited. At noon, Tamara called. Alina declined the call. A message immediately arrived. "Alina, don't be a fool. We wish you well. You'll regret your stubbornness. Mark my words." Alina blocked the number. Then a message came from Olesya from another number. "You're selfish. My kids are suffering in a rental, and you're spread out in a 3-bedroom. Do you have a conscience?" Alina didn't respond, blocked that number too. At 1 o'clock, Dennis called. "Alina, I'm coming home at 3. We need to talk seriously. Be home." "Okay." "And the kids shouldn't be there." "They're not here." "Good." He hung up. His voice was firm, decisive. He was preparing, probably rehearsing, gathering his courage. Alina looked at the clock. 3 p.m. Movers at 4. So he would have an hour to say everything he had planned. And then she stood, went to the kitchen, made strong tea, drank it. Her hands trembled, but inside was cold clarity. Whatever he said, she was ready. Documents gathered, application filed, movers called. Everything thought through. At 2:30 she heard a key in the lock. The door opened. Dennis entered. He walked into the living room without even taking off his shoes. Face pale, lips compressed. He stopped in the middle of the room, looked at her. "Where are the kids?" "With a friend, like you asked." He nodded, ran his hand over his face, clearly nervous. "Sit down," he said. Alina sat in the armchair. He paced the room, stopped by the window, was silent, gathering his thoughts. "I've made a decision," he finally said without turning around. "Final. Non-negotiable." Alina was silent. "We're moving in with Mom. All of us together. She'll clear out a room. Our bed, and the kids' beds will be there. Mom will help with the kids. It'll be easier for you. This is temporary, until we get on our feet." "And the apartment?" Alina asked quietly. Dennis turned around, looked at her. "You're renting the apartment to Olesya officially under a lease agreement for $2,000 a month. Olesya will move here with her family. They desperately need this. They're going broke on rent, and $2,000 will go into our family budget. That's decent money." Alina slowly exhaled. "Dennis, this is my apartment. I won't rent it to anyone. I'm not moving in with your mother. I already said this yesterday." His face contorted. "You don't understand. This isn't a request, it's a decision. I'm the head of the family. I made a decision, and you must carry it out." "I don't have to." "You do. You're my wife." "So what?" Alina stood, looked him in the eyes. "Does that give you the right to dispose of my property, evict me from my own apartment?" He stepped toward her, fists clenched. "I'm not evicting you. I'm proposing a temporary solution that will help everyone. Everyone except me and my children. Our children. Mine. When's the last time you played with them? Read them stories? Took them for a walk? You live in this apartment like it's a hotel. You come in, eat, sleep, leave. You're a father only on paper." He paled, then flushed, jaw clenched. "I work, I provide for the family. I work too and provide, and I also raise the kids, keep the house, do everything. Alone. Because that's how you want it. You don't let me in." "That's not true. I've asked for help hundreds of times. You refused." He turned around, paced the room, stopped, turned back. "Fine. I was a bad husband, but now I'm fixing it. I'm proposing we start over. At Mom's, all together like a normal family. Under your mother's control in a 1-bedroom apartment, the 4 of us, while my 3-bedroom goes to Olesya. Temporarily. Olesya will get back on her feet. We'll save up, then we'll come back." Alina laughed, short, without joy. "Do you even believe what you're saying? Olesya will never give the apartment back. She'll move in, settle in, and that's it. And I'll be living at your mother's, enduring her criticism, listening to what a bad wife and mother I am. No, Dennis. No." He looked at her, breathing heavily. "So you're refusing?" "Yes." "Finally." "Yes." He nodded, smirked. "Crooked, unpleasant. Fine. Then we'll do it differently." Alina tensed. "How?" Dennis took out his phone, opened something, showed her the screen. A messenger chat with Tamara and Olesya. Mom consulted with a lawyer. Turns out, if a wife creates unbearable living conditions, doesn't fulfill marital duties, prevents communication with relatives, the husband can file for divorce and demand compensation for emotional distress, even claim part of the property if he proves his contribution. Alina was silent, going cold inside. "I'll gather evidence," he continued. "Witnesses. Mom will confirm you didn't let her in. Were rude. Olesya will say you refused to help the family. I'll record your tantrums on my phone. The court will see you're unfit, and then the kids might stay with me, and we'll find a way to divide the apartment. Alina looked at him and didn't recognize him. This was the man she had lived with for 6 years, given birth to his children, shared a bed with. This man was threatening to take away her children. "You're bluffing," she said quietly. "The law isn't on your side. The apartment is mine, premarital. The kids are with me because I care for them, and you don't. You won't prove anything." "I will. Mom has a lawyer friend. He said there's a chance, especially if I file first. I'll say you're kicking me out, that you're mentally unstable, that the kids are in danger with you." "Are you out of your mind?" "No, I just want to help my family, my real family, Mom and my sister, and you're getting in my way. So choose. Either you agree voluntarily or it'll be through court, and then you'll lose everything." Alina slowly sat back in the armchair. Her heart pounded so hard her ears rang. He had thought everything through. They had thought everything through. Prepared a trap. "You have until tonight," Dennis said. "Think about it. I'll go to Olesius for now. They live nearby. Call me, I'll come. We'll formalize everything quickly. The rental agreement is ready. Mom already typed it up. You sign, and that's it. We'll live peacefully." He headed for the exit. At the door, he stopped, turned around. Alina saw him take a breath, prepare to say something important, and understood. Now would come the worst part. "Oh, and one more thing," Dennis said. "Mom asked me to clarify one point about sleeping arrangements at her place." Alina froze. "She's clearing out the room, but there'll only be our bed. The kids' beds will fit too, but at night kids often cry, right? Artem especially. And Mom has a bad heart. She needs quiet peace. Doctors warned, stress is dangerous." Alina felt everything inside clench into a cold knot. "And so?" Dennis looked at her calmly, matter-of-factly, as if discussing the weather. "So at night you'll have to sleep with the kids separately so as not to disturb Mom. She has a storage closet, small, but a mattress will fit. The 3 of you will fit. During the day you'll be in the room, and at night you'll go there. Mom will lay down a rug. It'll be quite normal. It's temporary. You can handle it." Silence. Long, heavy. Alina looked at her husband and couldn't believe what she was hearing. A storage closet. He wanted to shove her and 2 small children into a storage closet at night while his mother slept in comfort, while Olesia's family lived in her 3-bedroom apartment. "Repeat that," she whispered. "Repeat what you just said." Dennis frowned. "Well, the storage closet at Mom's. We'll put in a mattress, blanket. Not much space, but enough for the night. You'll be with the kids. The main thing for them is Mom nearby. And during the day, everything's normal. You'll be in the room." Alina slowly stood. Inside something hot, furious, raged. "So you're serious? You're proposing I pack my things, move into your mother's 1-bedroom, give my 3-bedroom to your sister's family, and sleep with the kids in a storage closet, basically a bathroom, because your mother has a bad heart?" "Not a bathroom, a storage closet. It's the same thing. A cubbyhole, a closet." "Alina, don't be dramatic. It's temporary. A couple months, 6 months max. 6 months in a closet." "Yeah." She looked at him and saw a stranger, completely foreign. How could she have ever loved him? How could she have had his children? "No," she said, quietly but so firmly he flinched. "No, Dennis. Not for anything. Never." His face darkened. "So the hard way then. Fine. I warned you. The rest is on you." He turned to the door. "Pack your things. We're moving into my mom's 1-bedroom," he shouted without turning around. "My sister and her family will be living in your 3-bedroom, and you'll be sleeping in the storage closet at Mom's." He jerked the door open, and at that moment there was a ring. A sharp, loud doorbell. Dennis froze, hand on the handle, turned to Alina questioningly. She was silent, face calm, cold. The bell rang again. Long, insistent. "Who is it?" Dennis asked. Open it and find out, Alina answered quietly. He frowned, opened the door. On the threshold stood 3 men in the uniform of a moving company. The senior one had a tablet in his hands. Good afternoon, he said. Moving service at this address. Order in the name of Alina. Removal of personal items. Dennis froze, went pale, turned to Alina. She rose from the armchair, came closer, looked at him calmly, evenly. This is for your things, Dennis, she said softly. I'm filing for divorce. The application is already with the court. Your things are packed, boxes in the storage closet. The movers will take them out. You're moving out today. He stood with his mouth open, couldn't utter a word. What are you? He finally mumbled. You have no right. I do. This is my apartment. According to documents, according to law, you have no rights to it. The marriage is ending. The kids stay with me. Child support, through court. Everything legal. You've lost your mind. No, I've finally woken up. The movers shuffled at the door. The senior one cleared his throat. Excuse me, but where do we pick up the items? Alina walked around the frozen Dennis, showed the movers the storage closet. Right here. 10 boxes, everything labeled. Need to take them downstairs and load into the truck. They nodded, began carrying out. Dennis stood in the middle of the hallway, pale, hand shaking. Watched as the movers carried out boxes. His boxes, his things. Alina, he mumbled. Wait, let's talk. Calmly. We can work this out. We can't. You just proposed I sleep with the kids in a storage closet. In my own apartment, you wanted to install Olesya. We have nothing to talk about. I was joking about the closet. It was a joke. No, Dennis, that wasn't a joke. That's what you really think, what you and your mother came up with. I heard your conversations. I know everything. He stepped toward her, grabbed her arm. Alina, don't do this. I'm asking. We're a family. Think about the kids. She pulled her arm free, stepped back. I am thinking about them. They won't grow up in a family where the father doesn't respect the mother, where grandmother manipulates everyone, where people try to take away the apartment their great-grandmother left them. Olesya isn't a stranger. She's my sister. To me and my kids, she's a stranger. And you, Dennis, also became a stranger a long time ago. I just didn't want to admit it. The movers carried out the last box. The senior one came back up. Everything's out. Where's the signature on the paperwork? Alina signed the receipt, paid, gave a tip. Where are we taking it? The mover asked, looking at Dennis. He was silent, stood with his head down. Nowhere for now, Alina said. Leave it in the truck. He'll tell you the address himself. The movers left. The door closed. They were alone. Alina walked to the door, opened it. Leave, Dennis. He looked at her. In his eyes, confusion, hurt, anger. Where am I supposed to go? To your mom's. She has a 1-bedroom, just right for you. Or to Olesya's. You're so close. I don't care. Alina, please. Leave, or I'll call the police. This is my apartment, and I have the right to ask you to leave. He stood another 30 seconds, then turned around, left, went down the stairs. Alina closed the door, locked it, leaned against it. Silence. Empty apartment. Just her. Her hands trembled, her legs too. She slowly slid to the floor, wrapped her arms around her knees, and only then did she cry. Quietly, almost soundlessly. Not from pity, not from pain. From relief. She had done it. Protected herself. Protected the children. Didn't allow their lives to be turned into hell. The phone rang. Unfamiliar number. Alina declined. Another call, also unfamiliar. Declined. Then messages came from different numbers. From Tamara. From Olesya. You'll regret this. We won't forgive you for this. You destroyed the family. My kids are suffering because of you. Alina read and blocked the numbers one by one. Then she texted Dennis. Don't try to come back. Don't write, don't call. All communication only through the lawyer. I'll give you the address later. Child support through court. Sent. Blocked his number too. She got up from the floor, washed her face with cold water, looked in the mirror. Pale face, red eyes, pressed lips, but her gaze was firm, determined. She walked through the apartment, quiet, empty. Hers. Sat on the couch, hugged herself, closed her eyes. An hour later Vicky called. Alina, we'll walk some more. The kids are happy, don't want to leave. Yes, please. I'll pick them up in the evening. What happened? You sound strange. Everything's fine, really. I'll tell you when we see each other. Alina hung up, lay on the couch, covered herself with a blanket. For the first time in 6 months, she felt safe. In her home, in her life. In the evening, she picked up the kids. Lisa asked, Mom, where's Dad? Alina knelt in front of her, took her hands. Sweetheart, Dad's going to live separately now. We're not husband and wife anymore. But he's still your dad and he loves you. Why did he leave? Because sometimes it's better this way, for everyone. We're not fighting, we just understand that sometimes adults are better off living separately. Lisa thought about it, then nodded. Okay, will he visit us? If he wants to, but he'll live in a different place. Artem didn't understand anything, was just happy to be home. They had dinner. She washed the kids, read them a story, put them to bed. Then she lay down herself in the big empty bed, in the quiet apartment. The phone was silent, all numbers blocked. Alina closed her eyes and for the first time in many months fell asleep peacefully. In the morning, she woke early, made coffee, sat by the window. Outside the glass dawn was breaking. The city was waking up. A new life. Without Dennis, without her mother-in-law, without constant tension and fear. Just her and the kids in their home, in their fortress. The phone rang, the lawyer. Alina, good morning. Want to warn you. Last night a call came to the court on behalf of your spouse. He wants to contest the divorce, demand division of property. Be prepared that he'll try to drag out the process. I'm ready. I have all my documents in order. The apartment is mine, premarital. He has no rights. Absolutely correct. But he may try to pressure you emotionally. Through relatives, acquaintances. Don't give in. I won't. Excellent. If there are threats, straight to the police. Document everything. Calls, messages, visits. It'll help in court. Okay, thank you. Alina hung up, stood, stretched, went to wake the kids. A new day, a new life. And she would manage. She would definitely manage. Because she hadn't endured, hadn't waited for them to break her, hadn't allowed herself to become a victim. She acted quickly, decisively, ruthlessly, and won. And Dennis could now live in a one-bedroom at his mom's or at Olesia's, wherever he wanted, just not here. Here was her home, her life, her happiness, and no one would ever take that away from her again. The story continues with Alina successfully navigating the divorce process over the following months and years, ultimately building a happy, independent life with her children, while Dennis struggles with the consequences of his actions. She eventually meets someone new who truly respects her and thrives in her career and personal life, having protected the home her grandmother left her and created a stable, peaceful environment for her family.